Let's go Knights! Hello, everyone, and welcome to Knight Spotlight. I'm Lane Glenn, the president of Northern Essex Community College here in the beautiful Merrimack Valley of Northeast Massachusetts. We are sitting today in the offices of soon-to-be Dr. Jody Carson on the Haverhill campus of Northern Essex Community College. Soon-to-be Dr. Carson, Jody, call you Jody. Jody is one of a large number of faculty and staff at Northern Essex Community College, incredibly talented people who are always researching, teaching, preparing students for a world of work that is constantly changing. Every one of them has a story to tell. Today we're going to hear a little bit about Jody's story. Now, Jody first of all, she began at Northern Essex Community College as a student. She's an alum, and then began teaching for us many years ago in our early childhood education program. Spectacular educator, beloved by students, and innovator, always trying new things. She got involved in open educational resources and something we're going to talk a little bit about today, competency-based education, known not just around Massachusetts, but all around the country for her work in competency-based education, or CBE. Jody, thank you so much for having us here today. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Excited to talk about CBE.
And maybe we'll even work in a little bit of your recent activity in your doctoral work, because they come together, right?
They do.
They come together.
They do.
Well, let's talk about CBE. Start from the beginning briefly, right? For somebody who's never heard of this before, competency-based education. What is it? How does it work? How is it different?
All right. So competency-based education measures learning and not time. We're looking to find out what a student knows and what they can do. And we're not so concerned with the amount of time that it takes for them to demonstrate that knowledge. So in a typical class, you might have week 1 content with assignments due at the end of the week, or week 2, whether it's online or face-to-face. In a competency-based class, students move through their courses as they show us what they know. So they're working towards a set of competencies that align with workforce skills or field-based knowledge or general academic skills. Okay. And they're moving through the content in a course. And as soon as they show us that they've met that competency, they can move on. So they can take more time on some competencies, less on others, and they can accelerate or take a break when they need to.
So how has this been an advantage to our students who have taken some courses this way? What works well for them?
So I'm going to talk about early childhood for a minute, just because that's where a lot of this started. Early childhood.
You know a lot about it.
I sure do. Early childhood is the first degree and certificate program that Northern Essex has offered in the competency-based format, although we've had the competency-based courses for a little while, since about 2016.
We were, by the way, as you know, the first public college in Massachusetts to offer competency-based classes, right?
Yeah.
You guys were pioneers.
Yeah. And the first early childhood degree program in the competency-based format in the country.
We were on the news in Kansas when that happened. That's how important that was.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's fine. Very exciting stuff. So in the competency-based early childhood courses, students move through the content. They show us that they can complete things that they would be expected to do in the field. So we might ask them to do lesson plans or write an observation report instead of taking an exam on, what they know about guidelines or child development. Mm-hmm. We would ask them to actually show us how they know it and how they can use that content.
This hasn't been easy all the way. There have been some challenges creating this approach to course delivery, right? Mm-hmm. What have some of the challenges been? I mean, because we've been at this, as you've pointed out, for several years now. Yeah. What are some of the challenges that we've experienced?
So first, in order to be able to develop competency-based classes, you have to get a special accreditation through NECC, our accreditation office. You have to go through and you have to develop all of the competencies, which means you need extensive professional development. The idea of just developing a CBE course really changes the faculty mindset in addition to the students. They have to think about how they're going to develop CBE courses, how they're going to assess learning. Yeah. Learning is assessed through a project-based model, more authentic assessment.
Which is show me, don't just tell me.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. We want to see how students can actually use their knowledge, not just that they have it, but that they can use it. Faculty go through professional development. They have to then develop these competency maps. We have to align them with state and national standards for each discipline. Okay. And then we have to submit those to NECC for approval. We get the approval back. And then, it takes a little time to launch them. We have to develop a marketing plan, and we have to market the programs. We have to make sure students are prepared when they are taking courses in the CBE model. And then obviously we have to, balance that with the other courses on the schedule. How are they different than online or face-to-face?
It's a lot. It's highly regulated, concerns over financial aid and how it's distributed, assuring authentic learning, all those things. And we've gotten to a place now where it's not just early childhood education, right? What's emerging? What's next?
So
excite everybody.
Okay, so what's next? We are really excited to launch this fall a business management degree in the competency-based pathway and a healthcare tech certificate. In addition to those, with the launch of these new degree programs, we can now offer the general ed course requirements for any mass transfer program in the CBE.
Nice.
Modality. That was something we were really excited about. So students can come here and do all the CBE courses in that transfer block, regardless of their program.
Should every student think about competency-based education, or is there a particular kind of student for whom this works even better than others?
So CBE is an excellent match for many adult learners who are looking for a more flexible program, a more personalized experience. They're bringing some knowledge with them. It also works for students who have really good time management skills, right? So students can move through these courses at their own pace. You could be teaching a 15-week class, and you could have students that are, finished module 1 or 2, and you could have other students that are done. So on the flip side, students can sometimes take a little bit longer with those courses. So you want to make sure somebody, has some students have good time management skills, which can be a challenge for students.
Yeah, some people need greater in-person structure and all that stuff.
Yes.
You really are an expert on this. You just wrote a book about it, right? I mentioned earlier you're soon to be Dr. Carson.
Yes.
I know it's a whole book and everybody should read the entire thing. But just give us like a kernel, a nutshell. What's this dissertation about?
So my dissertation was called Removing Barriers for Adult Learners at a Community College Through Competency-Based Education.
Any particular community college? That's okay.
Well, yeah. I don't think I'm supposed to reveal that, right? It's top secret. But yes. So as part of that study, I interviewed 11 adult learners who had successfully completed one or more CBE courses and enrolled in another one in a subsequent term. What I learned is that a lot of the students were unfamiliar with CBE. They didn't really know what they signed up for. And so we wanted to make sure that students understood at the start of the semester what they were enrolling in and what the expectations were and really how to navigate CBE, right? There's almost a science to the way you can navigate the courses if you figure out the structure. Some students move through those courses and they don't need help. They log in, they understand the structure, they get feedback from their faculty member, and then they, complete the course. Others are looking for more opportunities for engagement. Whether it's on Zoom with your instructor, with other peers, asynchronous discussion boards. So that's sort of what comes next. How do we incorporate that feedback?
Could be a part 2.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So it was an action research study.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much never done. It's done in terms of my dissertation requirements. But yeah, there's still more work to do.
Fabulous. Well, Jody, soon to be Dr. Carson, thank you for your outstanding work as a faculty member at Northern Essex and the hundreds or thousands of students that you've helped educate and lead into meaningful careers over the years. Thank you for being an innovator. OER, CBE, all those abbreviations. You are one of the many people at Northern Essex that make us stand out as a place of firsts. And thank you for your time today on Night Spotlight.